Coming up on News Live at 6, House Speaker Mike Johnson tells CitrusTV News he probably will repeal the CHIPS Act, how this breaking news could affect the race for Congress and the presidency.
Plus, the start of Native American Heritage Month, how Native student programs are celebrating and how allies can learn more about the history of Native people.
And inside a look at a ghost kitchen. News Live at 6 starts right now.
News Live at 6 starts with breaking news.
Top party leaders are set to be in Syracuse this weekend. Welcome to News Live at 6. I'm Peter Elliot.
And I'm Marie Achkar. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was in the Salt City this afternoon campaigning for Congressman Brandon Williams' re-election. And House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries will be here tomorrow to campaign for Williams' challenger, John Mannion.
Luke Radel was there and spoke to Speaker Johnson live. Luke, what did he tell you?
Peter and Marie, good evening. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is in hot water tonight after answering a question from CitrusTV News about the CHIPS and Science Act. That law includes incentives that help to bring Micron to Central New York, the largest private investment in American history. Williams was initially critical of the law, calling it, quote, corporate welfare in an op-ed in August of 2022. But then, once Micron was announced to be coming here in October, Williams got on board, saying he actually would have voted for the law if he was in Congress at the time. But one person who was in Congress at the time was House Speaker Mike Johnson. He voted against the CHIPS Act. And just last week on the Joe Rogan podcast, former President Donald Trump said that the law is, quote, so bad. I asked Johnson and Williams what they would do to the CHIPS Act if they're elected. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. So, two quick questions, if I may. The former president has said that he doesn't support the CHIPS and Science Act. You voted against it. If you have a Republican majority in Congress and Trump in the White House, will you guys try to repeal that law?
I expect that we probably will, but we haven't developed that part of the agenda yet. We got to get over the election first, and that's why we're so happy to be in New York's 22nd.
And then for the congressman, would you vote to repeal or keep the CHIPS Act if that vote came?
No, obviously the CHIPS Act is hugely impactful here, and my job is to keep lobbying on my side. That's why I've crossed the aisle and supported many things that against leadership. But that's our partnership. That's how we're going to get through this. Being reelected, I will remind him night and day how important the CHIPS Act is, and that we break ground on Micron. It's coming.
When you have an issue that is where consensus is necessary to be built, because different states have different perspectives on these things, you have to have somebody who is a strong advocate for that legislation. People listen to Brandon Williams. If that's an important thing for your district, you need this guy there to make that case.
Now, in a statement posted to X, Kamala Harris's spokesperson responded to CitrusTV's interview with Johnson saying, quote, wow, Mike Johnson confirms he and Trump would repeal the CHIPS law, which is investing in new plants and manufacturing in Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, all swing states. It's creating thousands of jobs, says Ian Sams, a spokesperson for Kamala Harris. It's also creating jobs here in Central New York, which is why Congressman Brandon Williams has now released a new statement walking things back. He says, quote, I spoke privately with the speaker immediately after the event. He apologized profusely, saying he misheard the question from CitrusTV. He also says that I trust the local media to play his full comments in supporting repatriation of chips manufacturing. Speaker Mike Johnson said, as I further explained and clarified, I fully support Micron coming to Central New York, and the CHIPS Act is, quote, not on the agenda for repeal. Johnson was campaigning in Syracuse today with Williams and other local Republicans to win back this important seat that is ranked by nonpartisan analysts the most vulnerable for Republicans in the nation. Reporting in studio tonight, Luke Radel, CitrusTV News. Marie and Peter, back over to you.
A lot there, Luke. Thank you so much for your coverage of that critical issue just 4 days out from Election Day. Well, today is the first day of American Indian Heritage Month. Earlier today, the Native Student Program held a kickoff event to celebrate.
Our Sigourney Bell learned more about the Native Student Program house on campus and the culture within. Sigourney, good evening.
Hey Marie, I had the privilege of touring the 113 Euclid House and learning about the history of Indigenous culture at Syracuse University. Take a look.
Some may not be familiar with the importance of 113 Euclid, but those that are appreciate it as a safe space. With art from many different tribes, it's inclusive for all Indigenous voices on campus, regardless of nation.
All the pieces are from Indigenous artists themselves, and again, we want to capture the culture as much as possible, and it's not just one nation that we chose from. It's a very diverse group that we selected from. People in general that aren't familiar with Indigenous people think of like just one specific stereotype, you know, a feather in the hair and going, oh, things like that, and that's just not the way it is. That when we talk about Indigenous people, it's not just North American Indigenous people, it's Central America and South America, and each of those nations have different ways of expressing themselves and different culture and different language and different stories that need to be told and shared.
Some students may pass this sign on campus or hear the land acknowledgement spoken before each Syracuse event and still be unaware of the deep-rooted Native American history intertwined with Syracuse University. Indigenous voices on campus encourage students to not be complacent in their knowledge and continue learning.
The history and what they know and what they thought they knew was wrong. Now, the university offers an incredible Native Studies minor program. I'm glad that we have a Heritage Month, but every day is Indigenous Day for us. It's not anything different.
The Syracuse Native Student Program will be holding more events throughout the month to continue uplifting American Indian voices on campus. Back to you, Peter.
All right, Sigourney, thank you so much. Well, the breakout of war in Gaza has heightened tensions between religious groups, but two faith leaders at SU are being recognized by a national organization for creating interfaith dialogue. Imam Amir Durich and Rabbi Ethan Baer have been named Innovation Fellows by Interfaith America. The pair will be awarded grant money in recognition for their work in uniting people of diverse faiths on campus. Their initiatives, funded by this fellowship, aim to strengthen community bonds and support faith-based engagement at SU.
Syracuse University students have been receiving phishing emails sent to their Syracuse emails for years. Now Information Technology Services is rolling out a new way to report them. ITS is recommending all students use Microsoft Outlook's report message feature. They say this method is faster and easier than in the past. It will also make it easier for ITS to address the issue. So Peter, yesterday was super warm and it was Halloween night, which worked out perfectly, but this morning I walked outside my apartment and I instantly felt that temperature drop. I don't know how you feel about it, but it was a little bit disappointing for me.
Back to those fall temperatures now. I mean, we grew up wearing jackets over our costumes for Halloween.
Oh yeah, we're both the Midwest.
That's right, both from the Midwest. You could have worn shorts last night. Unbelievable how warm it was. Back down to those fall temperatures though. We'll see what it's like out there right now. Matt Lesnik is in for Michael Lamort right now to give us a look now at our forecast. Matt.
Thanks, Peter. Well, yeah, you said right now we're at those fall temperatures. I'll talk about a little later past the weekend, but right now we're looking at 55 degrees with a 10-mile-an-hour wind, so it's going to feel a little colder. There is a cloud cover overhead, meaning that you're not going to get much sun, obviously, but taking a look in and around the area right here in Syracuse, 55, like I said, up north in Fulton, 52, gets a little warmer. Down south in Binghamton, 59, 56 in Elmira. But taking a look towards tonight, temperatures going to drop into the 40s. That cloud cover stays overhead with potential rain. So if you're going to go out, make sure you bring that jacket. And of course, with 49-degree weather, that jacket is going to be very useful. But those winds are going to make it feel a little more cold as well. But that's all I've got right now. I'll have your full 5-day forecast later in the show. But guys, I'll send it back to you.
Matt, thank you so much. Well, this fine dining chef left the restaurant world to start his own food business. Our reporter Holden Sherman is at a ghost kitchen right now, and not just because it's the day after Halloween. Holden, can you tell us what exactly a ghost kitchen is?
Marie, I actually have the owner of Nothing But Nudes, John DeMore, with me to tell me what a ghost kitchen is.
Well, a ghost kitchen is a kitchen that's rented from a property and you just operate out of the kitchen alone. You don't have any seating, you don't have a countertop, you just rent the kitchen from them and then just operate right out of there doing your own takeout for yourself.
You have a lot of experience in the fine dining world. I know you've worked with a lot of top chefs in the area. Why did you want to start this business?
I wanted to start this business so I wanted to make my own imprint here. I wanted to make my own imprint on this town. I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to be separate from everyone else without a financer, without someone else backing me. I wanted to do it on my own and show that I can do that.
I know you rotate the menu every week. What are you trying to always achieve by doing that? What's the objective?
The objective is to stay on top of the trends coming out in the food industry, on top of seasonal products too as well, which I love to highlight using the farmers from our local community and down at the market there, I'm there all the time. A lot of that, and a lot of just seasonal, staying on top of it, and really just giving people the variety that they want.
So we've got a couple dishes here, some of your weekly stuff. Tell me about it.
So today we have our Cajun chicken special. So now it's Cajun chicken with some bell peppers and some onion sauteed in Cajun as well, with our garlic toasted onion fettuccine and Alfredo sauce. Now the garlic toasted onion fettuccine is one of my biggest sellers, and people love it. I sell out of it constantly. And also here I have my meatballs that I've been told are some of the best around, so it's up for you to decide, but I believe they're great too. And then I have my lemon basil pappardelle with a creamy pesto. Now you guys went earlier, you smelled the pesto I was making, and it filled the air, so you know how great that's going to be.
Outside of a full stomach, after people place their orders online, on Facebook and Instagram, what do you want people to feel? Like when they're done eating the nudes?
Once you're satisfied and you feel full and happy, I want you to feel like overjoyed almost, that you are happy with your purchase, you're satisfied with everything, and I want you to carry that on with the meal you make. Maybe it inspired you to do something with your food.
Well, if I know one thing, Nothing But Nudes has a ton of noodles, excuse me. Make sure to check them out on Instagram and on Facebook at Nothing But Nudes Pasta. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Holden, thank you so much. The food from that ghost kitchen looking scarily good. Well, still ahead on News Live at 6, a new investment to stop teen crime after a spree in Syracuse, what Governor Hochul is rolling out for Onondaga County. We'll be right back.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Peter Elliott, Marie Achkar, and Michael Amort. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back. Governor Kathy Hochul is directing nearly $24 million to fight crime in Syracuse and Onondaga County.
A drop in violent crime this year, but noted the same is not true for property crime. The governor says a surge in thefts and larceny shakes the feelings of security for a community.
You walk out of your front door and your car is there, you're not getting to work. Your kids might not be getting to school. It is so disturbing and so upsetting, and it hits you right here that you have this lack of security. So it's a really intrusive crime when you think about it.
Governor Hochul highlighted that many of the people committing these crimes are teenagers. In an effort to minimize teenage crime, the city of Syracuse will receive $1.5 million in New York funding to establish the EXALT program.
It's a program already working in New York City. The goal is to get teens out of the justice system and into structured classes to develop skills and prevent them from committing crimes again.
Well, 2 Salina daycare employees have been arrested for allegedly abusing children. 23-year-old Kaja Abukar and 19-year-old Kaylin Chartier were arrested for allegedly endangering the welfare of a child. Both employees have since been fired from the Shining Stars daycare. The arrests follow 2 separate incidents of alleged abuse involving a child under the age of 5 and another under the age of 2.
The North Syracuse Central School District has a new superintendent of schools. Terry Ward is expected to be named to the position at the Board of Education's meeting on Monday. Ward is currently the superintendent for the Caddo Meridian Central School District, where he developed an award-winning DEI program. And the district was noted for doubling its English language arts scores. Ward will start working on January 6th.
Now to a situation that's getting a little squirrely. A New York man is appealing to the State Department of Environmental Conservation and elected officials to get his famous squirrel back. Mark Longo runs an Instagram page for his pet squirrel, Peanut. The page has more than 500,000 followers, and Longo uses it to promote and collect donations for his animal sanctuary.
But the posts came to a halt Wednesday when 6 DEC officers raided Longo's home, taking Peanut and a raccoon named Fred. A DEC spokesperson says the agency started an investigation after multiple reports of potentially unsafe housing of animals and keeping of illegal wildlife as pets. Longo says he's scared that Peanut has been euthanized and is asking for donations to help with legal fees.
Longo says he knows it's against New York state laws to own a wild animal without a license, but he says he was in the process of filing paperwork to get Peanut certified as an educational animal.
Coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have your full 5-day forecast just after the break. Stick with us.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Taking a look at your 5-day forecast. Going into the weekend for game day tomorrow, it's going to get a little chillier, going to be down into the 40s with a low of 32. It's going to get to those freezing temperatures. It's going to be partly cloudy, so if you're going to the game, it's not going to be too sunny, but the temperatures are going to get a little warmer going into Sunday, 54. Again, those clouds. Monday gets a little, there's going to be more clouds. It's going to get a little warmer, getting back into the 60s, but for election day, it's going to be 75. So if you're going to be out voting, you're going to get some great weather. But so you're going to have those clouds overhead again, and Wednesday it gets a little colder again, dipping back down into the 60s. But today is the first day of November, and I noticed there's a lot of songs that have November, that are about November, as these are just some of my favorites. First off, November Has Come by Gorillaz is one of my favorite songs. After that, November by Tyler, the Creator, a great song about just reminiscing. Sweet November by SZA is one I recently heard for the first time, and I love it. November Rain by Guns N' Roses, really long song, but if you have 10 minutes, I recommend taking a listen to that. And finally, November 18th by Drake, October's very own song about November, but that's all I got right now. Peter and Marie, I'll send it back to you.
Matt, thank you so much. That's a great playlist there.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I love SZA.
Well, last night we talked about Halloween was so warm, the candy was probably melting. Unbelievably unseasonable temperatures for October.
Yeah, well, our reporter Vanessa Shimoni is here in studio to tell us more about these record-breaking temperatures. Vanessa, good evening.
Thanks, Marie and Peter. The hottest record Halloween happened in history last night, and another record-breaking temperature just the day before. Let's see what students on campus have to say about the odd changes in the weather recently.
Syracuse made history this month, hitting record high temperatures. This Halloween had a high of 77 degrees, breaking the previous warmest Halloween temperature of 75 degrees back in 2003. October 30th also broke the previous record, reaching 81 degrees. Most students, like Allison McAteer, say the warm weather came as a pleasant surprise.
I think it's kind of crazy how fast it can change. I mean, last week I was wearing my big puffer jacket and now I'm obviously in short sleeves. So yeah, I think it's great though. I mean, I'm happy it's not how it was last week and I hope it stays like this for a while.
However, other students, such as Olivia Eichhorn, are concerned about the environment because of the unusual weather activity.
I mean, I love that it's warm, but it's definitely a little bit concerning. Just thinking about global warming, like this is really weird for the end of October. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I'm pretty sure it was snowing on one of them, so it's crazy.
Some students, like Ali Casella, simply just want the crisp fall weather.
Adjusting, I honestly never know what to wear. Like, it's a battle in the morning. I'll go a little colder. I like the warm weather, but like I also want more fall, so a little colder.
While these temperatures didn't last long, they definitely made an impact on the students. We have yet to see if these temperatures are gone for good or if we'll see them again next fall. Vanessa Shimoni, Citrus TV News.
Now, it's looking like the weather is going to stay in the 50s and 60s for most of the next week, with Tuesday expected to get up into the 70s. It's looking like this could be one warm fall here in Syracuse. Marie and Peter, back to you.
Vanessa, thank you so much. Well, here at the desk, we have our sports anchor, Ryan Bridges, and it is game day tomorrow. Ryan, what do you think is going to happen between Syracuse and Virginia Tech?
Well, one team is going to be crowned bowl eligibility, 2 5-win teams looking to get to that 6-win mark. I'll tell you more about it after the break.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
It's safe to say it's been a rough go of things for the New York Jets this season. The team fired their head coach Robert Saleh after just 5 games and came into last night's matchup against the 6-2 Houston Texans at just 2-6 themselves. But every great streak starts with just one game, and they had that chance to break that streak. Their losing streak going 5 games. Let's head out to MetLife Stadium for the matchup. See if the Jets can get back on track. They changed their head coach recently. There's a lot to do, but Garrett Wilson certainly stepped up for the Jets. That was one of his 2 touchdowns right there. C.J. Stroud moving in the pocket in the second quarter. He finds his man Tank Dell, 6 catches, 126 yards for Dell on the day. They've lost Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins throughout the season. Right here, first touchdown of the game. This is what the score would be. Going into the halftime break, Houston 7, New York with nothing. But Aaron Rodgers, 3 touchdowns, no picks on the day. One of his best games of the season. How about that one-handed catch by Garrett Wilson? Ties the game up. That was not even his best one-handed catch of the entire night. A lot of his 90 yards came on this play right here. 3rd and 19. Rodgers lofts it up. And how about this? He just gets his shin in bounds. The rule says that if the knee touches out of bounds, it's no good. And then Rodgers finds Davante Adams on this touchdown right here. The first link up between those two since the Jets traded for him a couple weeks ago. And they get the win 21-13 on Thursday Night Football. So the Jets go to 3-6 on the season, but a team that's 5-2 right now playing football here in Syracuse is Syracuse football. Suffered that embarrassing 41-13 loss against Pitt last week. Not good. Kyle McCord threw 5 interceptions. A lot of people saying they're not in that national championship conversation, not even in the ACC championship conversation. Syracuse head coach Fran Brown said in a press conference on Monday that his team is not listening to the doubters despite the tough loss.
But all we really can control is Monday, and we're just trying to practice our butts off today and just being able to focus on that and not try to pay attention to people that think there isn't anything still out there to play for when you're a senior in college. You know, some of our guys have 30 days left of football, and we want to continue to do well so we can continue to add another week and another week and another week and another week and not fall into the mindset of the weak-minded people that think there's nothing else to play for when we're all blessed to have today.
2 teams at 5 wins in the NCAA. You need 6 wins in order to reach bowl eligibility, and these 2 teams also towards the top of the ACC. So a lot of implications with this matchup. Even if Syracuse couldn't go all the way, Citrus TV is going to have all your coverage throughout the entire day tomorrow with Orange Press Pass. But for now, Peter and Marie, back over to you.
Looking forward to that one tomorrow with noon kickoff inside the Dome. We'll be right back after one final break with your wake-up weather.
Jason, let's go see your room.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. When you wake up tomorrow, it'll be 43, and it's not going to get much warmer throughout the day for game day. Peter and Marie?
Matt, thank you. Now that Halloween has come and gone, there's a question we have to debate. Again, it's not whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It is rather, how early is too early to play Christmas music.
Yeah, well, Mariah Carey took to Instagram just after midnight to release her annual It's Time video. Now, Peter, I think it is 100% socially acceptable to listen to Christmas music right now.
Oh, come on. The turkey hasn't even been bought yet at the store,
Yeah.
hasn't been cut. I think as soon as Thanksgiving begins, that's
That's
when you
just
can play the
wrong.
music.
It's just wrong.
How do you get in the Christmas
All
headspace?
I want for Christmas is you. See, now he's forced to listen to it.
Already. It's too early. It's just simply too early. Oh my God. Adding to the 1.8 billion streams on Spotify. Well, thank you so much. That does it for News Live at 6 on this Friday. Thanks to all our alumni for joining us here in the studio. I'm Peter Elliott.
Well, do not forget you can follow us on X and Instagram. I'm Marie. Have a great night, Syracuse.